Heroes of Might and Magic 2, The Succession Wars. Picking up where Heroes of Might and Magic left off, players choose sides in a war of succession for the throne of Enroth. Players now have the choice of over 4 dozen monster types, 60 animated combat spells, and dozens of unique artifacts. Heroes of Might and Magic 2 is sure to please veteran strategy gamers as well as newcomers to the genre. Look for Heroes of Might and Magic 2, coming this fall.
7 weeks have passed since we set sail from Enroth. Slaves freed from our skirmishes with Regnan fleets talk of the turmoil in Arathia. I suspect their stories are true, but I must see the evidence with my own eyes. The ocean tides were kind enough to bury the fallen on its shores. However, the smoking ruins of Cloudfire greeted us with nothing but destruction and the stench of death. With no survivors, only the battlefield could tell me what happened here. Despite the breath of devastation, the presence of Minotaurs suggests a raiding party. However, the ranks were too well organized. This is the work of the dungeon overlords. Evidently, the wizards were prepared, but overrun nevertheless. These atrocities rend my heart and fuel my anger. Arathia's banner must be respected, never disgraced. I think of my beloved Roland and my son Nikolai, and how much further this war will carry me from them. But my duty is clear. My father's kingdom must survive. Arathia must not fall to its enemies.
all things comes an end. We are no more than a character in a story, our lives easily extinguished by an arrow or a stone. Turn the page and thousands die. And for what? For the pride of two leaders who are inexorably drawn together by the power of two swords and a mutual destiny. And then the sword of frost and Armageddon's blade clash. A blinding flash. Another turn of the page. The destruction brings earthquakes, volcanoes, floods, and deaths uncounted. And acts of bravery too. Just when it seems we are doomed, we flip the page once more, and countless fortunate refugees flee through portals into another world. Is this the end of our tale? No, we are the pawns of fate. There are still many pages to turn. And to all things comes a beginning.
W tej niewielkiej tawernie rozstrzygnąć się mają dalsze losy całego królestwa. Tutaj właśnie odbywa się potajemne spotkanie piątki towarzyszy, choć ich imion nie zna nawet lud krainy, którą zamierzają ocalić. Rozmowa nie trwa długo i wkrótce każdy z bohaterów wyruszy w drogę. Przyjdzie im teraz wspiąć się na najwyższe szczyty gór, udać się do najdzikszych krain, żeglować po najgłębszych morzach. Wszystko to, by odnaleźć legendarne artefakty niezwykłej mocy. Czasu jest mało, gdyż na południu czeka na nich ponury czarodziej Hexis, który zamierza nagiąć do swej woli wszechwładną moc natury. W miarę jak jego potęga wzrasta, delikatna równowaga sił przyrody zostaje zachwiana, a podległe mu ziemię ogarnia chaos. Nawet oddane mu istoty przekształcają się powoli w wynaturzone monstra. W obliczu takiego oto zagrożenia nasza piątka przyjaciół, piątka bohaterów musi połączyć swe siły. Nad spokojną dotąd krainą gromadzą się już burzowe chmury.
Mongo, dzielny barbarzyńca z północy, zamierzający powiększyć swoje królestwo o nowe ziemie. Misterio wspaniały, potężny mag próbujący zgłębić tajemnicę nieśmiertelności. Irac Sipich, elficki strażnik, który przysiągł bronić Królestwa Natury nawet za cenę własnego życia. Baron von Tarkin, mistrz nekromancji prowadzący odwieczną wojnę z siłami życia. Spazmaticus, młody król starający się podporządkować sobie cały świat. 5 władców z 5 krain ostrzy sobie zęby na królestwo Shannon i bogactwa jego stolicy. Tylko jeden wyjdzie z tej walki zwycięsko. Tylko jeden przetrwa wichry wojny. Mongo, dzielny barbarzyńca z północy, zamierzający powiększyć swoje królestwo o nowe ziemie. Misterio wspaniały, potężny mag próbujący zgłębić tajemnicę nieśmiertelności. Irac Sypich, elficki strażnik, który przysiągł bronić Królestwa Natury nawet za cenę własnego życia. Baron von Tarkin, mistrz nekromancji prowadzący odwieczną wojnę z siłami życia. Spazmaticus, młody król starający się podporządkować sobie cały świat. 5 władców z 5 krain ostrzy sobie zęby na królestwo Shannon i bogactwa jego stolicy. Tylko jeden wyjdzie z tej walki zwycięsko. Tylko jeden przetrwa wichry wojny.
How can you be so dumb? Hard to believe we're related. Blame your mother, not mine. Such stupidity. Plus, you let one of the invaders go. I chased her army all the way to the border. You're from my clan. My word is binding for you too. You broke your own oath. Not as I see it. I go to talk to the king. Go, you gutless worm. Don't risk war to keep your lands. You might dirty your clothes. Go cry to the king's council. I'd better get word to the clan. No telling where this storm might hit.
Born from a gruesome experiment injecting demon blood into human bodies, the orcs spent centuries as slaves and pawns in their masters' battles. Led by a visionary leader, they stood up together. And fought for their place in the world. Returning as conquerors, the orcs will rewrite history.
For the sky! Death to my enemy!
As they unveil the demon's darkest plot. In their thirst for revenge and blood, they will face ancient enemies and find unexpected allies.
I am Aaron
The epic tale of the Heroes 5 saga comes to its conclusion as the peoples of Ashan unite against a common enemy.
They are taken as slaves.
I follow Father Sky.
Old alliances will be tested and new ones made.
This day will be remembered forever!
As the bloody mask is ripped from the face of the Griffin Queen, a handful of heroes have one last chance to save their world.
Peggy 16.
It all went wrong the day our father, the Duke of Griffin, died. Irina was sold to a cruel lord, Sandor, forced into exile, and Kirill lost his soul. Father's death was not an accident. Anastasia, our beloved sister, stabbed him in the heart. I am the Duke now. And I am alone. The shadow of death is upon us, cursing our entire family. Pitting brother against sister. But our struggle is just a single drop in a chalice of tears and blood. An ancient storm is rising.
Peggy 16.
It all started in the year that followed the eclipse. Many ships were lost in storms as sudden as they were treacherous. The Pirate Council held an extraordinary session and summoned the only man they felt could put an end to this threat.
Just get on with it and tell me what you want from me.
You're the best navigator of the Savage Sea, Captain Hack.
Thunderbird has reappeared, and is the cause of all the recent havoc.
A sword cannot do much against the tide.
That snake woman is crazy. She must be stopped.
Peggy 16.
Necromancer Sandro, you are accused of fomenting treason against the great Archon Belketh and the Spider Cult.
Are the cryptic prophecies of a demented spirit enough to condemn me?
Enough! You should be destroyed for your blasphemy.
You'll pay for this, sister. I'll make sure everyone in the Empire knows the part you played in this. Your life is now at a crossroads, Lucretia. I could teach you the art.
You must be Sandro's pet.
I was wondering when you'd show up.
I am Asher's servant, and her strength knows no bounds!
I am the shadow of death, come to harvest your soul.
Peggy 16.
The Dark Elves were born during a night filled with betrayal that began when the Elf King Arniel stood aside as the Holy Empire invaded Queen Twidana's lands. In desperation and anger, Twidana made a pact with the Dragon Goddess of Darkness and her minions, the Faceless. And so, this clan of rebel elves became the Dark Elves, and their new allies, the Faceless, took them into exile below the earth, away from the light. Their queen dead, their clan persecuted and broken, they wither while waiting with little hope for a new leader to rise. Relag, Twidana's first heir, can unite his weary people by forging an alliance with the mighty Black Dragons. But the young prince will also learn that it is hard to discern friend from foe when the world is painted in shades of darkness.
Peggy 16.
War is ravaging our lands. Brothers fighting against brothers. I need to stop this madness. But I cannot do it alone. Who will join me? Darkness to confuse our enemies. Strength and steel to break their resolve. sway the battle's tides. Light to keep us true. Harsh times require an extraordinary council, like none the world has ever seen. United in purpose, we shall end this war.